Every night you're sleeping by yourself. You're working after 12. So misunderstood. Hate it when I ask you, do you care? It makes me shrug despair. It's understood. If you love me, then why do you love that more? If you miss me, then why do you miss that more than me? If you need me so, then how does it have to go with that silicone chip instead of me? If you love me, then why do you love that more? If you miss me, then why do you miss that more than me? If you need me so, then how does it have to go with that silicone chip instead of me? Every time I'm sitting half alone, you're playing with your code. It's understood. Hate it when I'm watching movies here. Why can't you watch The Notebook with me, dear? It's understood. Dude. If you love me, then why do you love that more? If you miss me, then why do you miss that more than me? If you need me so, then why does it have to go with that silicone chip instead of me?
Late nights at the screen, baby, can't you see? Lips and blobs haunt my dreams, coding endlessly. You say you're feeling lonely, but I'm building a scheme to be the power couple, we're the empire, you're supreme. Why can't you understand this dream we share? Through lines of code, our future's there. Your words cut deep, they leave a scar, but together we can shine like a shooting star. Yeah, like a shooting star. You say it's a nightmare, this life we're leading, but darling, don't you know it's a future you're feeding? Ups and downs, they may come, but it's part of our creed. With every keystroke, I'm planting the seed. Why can't you understand this dream we share? Through lines of code, our future's there. Your words cut deep, they leave a scar, but together we can shine like a shooting star. Yeah, like a shooting star. Support my grind, girl, and watch us soar. Punching keys for us now forevermore. Two hearts in a intertwined in this digital flight. We'll conquer the world come day or night. Why can't you understand this dream we share? Through lines of code our future's there. Your words cut deep, they leave a scar, but together we can shine like a shooting star.
Tech coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains, but trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone is doing well. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineering to Win. This is the Software Explorations DevOps edition. We're going to be jumping into DevOps today. Why is this my full screen? Why is this my full screen? I got to get that taken care of. All right, I'm going to switch back to the one that I want to use. I'm not crazy about this one. We spoke about that yesterday, and I got to figure it out. But we are going to transition over to the original. There we go. And let me fix that on my board as well. Let me take care of that. You know, we will do it on the fly. Somehow it got reverted, but we don't miss. We don't miss. We will get it taken care of. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing well. We're going to be working on more on the Google Cloud Platform. I want to do some more deployments, and I want to add our security. I want to check the costs, and I want to show you an email that I got from Google today about billing. And let's see. and I want to secure our connection to our Mongo because apparently last week I left it open. And I did not realize that. So we're going to close that off. And we're going to do whatever we got to do. Right. So we are going to start off with our agenda as we always like to do. And all right. So first and foremost, I just want to say a big thank you to all the subscribers to the channel, those who are new, those who have been with me for a very long time. I appreciate you all.
I appreciate you.
You guys are the life of the channel, all the support that you give me. And I want to take the opportunity to also give a big salute and shout out to all of my tech savages out there. Those are my tech barbarians, my tech prodigies, my technical explorers, everybody in the Patreon that I am working with, talking to, helping to increase their technical skills and knowledge and career building ability. Shout out to you all. And of course, I always have to give it up for the tech mercenaries, those YouTube subscribers, those YouTube members who help support the channel, keep it going. Shout out to you guys.
Let's get it.
And of course, I can never, ever forget, shout out to the bag chasers out there.
Money.
And last, but certainly not least, shout out to my guys, Mr. Technique, aka Yakar, and my guy Mitch. Did you guys see that clip from the show yesterday that I dropped earlier today about how we have fun, how we have fun learning and in tech, where we can just at any given moment, we can just drop the beat and catch those hands of love.
Hey.
All right. So with that being said, we are going to jump into our live show schedule really quick. So you can see all the stuff that we do on this channel. In case you find value in any of it, then I want you to tune in and ask questions, be interactive. Let me know what areas of tech you're into, or maybe you're not in tech, but you just enjoy the fun that we have on the stream. Then you are more than welcome. But let me share with you our schedule. All right. So first and foremost, we have our morning shows. We're going to be going live tomorrow morning I scheduled it for 7:45 a.m. tomorrow. I have a coaching call at 7 a.m. in the morning. Yes. So morning shows, coffee and kata. Tomorrow we're going to be doing our numbers review for the week to prepare for Saturday. But we do our numbers review and we're going to look at some news stories, and then we're going to continue working on our mobile development. I wanted to do it on Friday, but I was way too busy, way too backed up on stuff I had to do. So we're going to continue on that tomorrow. Hopefully we can wrap up those tests soon so we can deploy our application to the iOS, to the App Store, and to the Google Play Store, right? Then we have Sunday afternoons today. We have our software explorations. We're working our way through DevOps. We've been working our way through Google Cloud platform for Google Cloud Runs, which has been absolutely amazing. The app has been up the whole week. And something I'm going to share with you as well that I noticed as we get into the show with the Google Cloud platform. I have a much better understanding of it now based on what I saw throughout the week, but we're going to get into that. And then we have on Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A session where you have questions, I have answers. So you can either call in to the show like my guy Rod Brown likes to do and have a great conversation, or you can ask questions in the chat, or I can find questions as well. And if you leave a comment, I can also address those questions too, all right? So check that out. And then we have Thursday night software explorations where we are working our way through building out our urban dictionary of economic data, which we're going to be deploying those changes today. We've been learning a lot. I really wanted to get into Kubernetes today, but I don't think we're going to get to that because we have like 3 different things that we want to work on. And if we do have a little bit more time, then we'll see what we can do with that. But no promises, but we are going to be getting to Kubernetes very soon, as we are just about wrapping up on the urban dictionary of economic data. We used it yesterday and it is absolutely phenomenal. It's like, honestly, it is one of the proudest things that I've done, that I've worked on, like on stream and stuff like that. So, and it's all thanks to you guys, all thanks to Yakar, all thanks to my guy Mitch, all thanks to Roxy, all thanks to Alexis, all thanks to Miss Freckles, all thanks to the Wealth Building Journey, all thanks to you guys, all thanks to Rod Brown. He gave me some amazing ideas as well, because you guys built this app. I was just here figuring out how to do the coding and stuff, but you guys built the app. You gave the suggestions. You said what would help you. You gave me your roles, and I really appreciate you for that. Which leads us to the show of the week, the grand finale of the week. We have the Men Lie, Women lie, numbers manipulate show. And that is where we review the weekly economic numbers to see, job information, consumer price index, consumer surveys, consumer sentiment, all of that good stuff. The GDP, we didn't even get to the GDP yesterday because we had so much stuff to cover. We're gonna cover the remaining 2 data points this coming Saturday, and whatever else comes up this week, because we were talking about monopolies, and I was getting your thoughts on it. I was giving my thoughts on it. We're all sharing our opinions, and it was just a great show yesterday. I had so much fun yesterday. We actually went way over time yesterday, so it was so much fun. But that is the show of the week to catch. All right. So and the best part about that show. What is the best part about that show? It is co-hosted by Yakar and Mitch from the chat. They are always keeping me in check, and it's even co-hosted by the Wealth Building Journey when he shows up, right? Because they are my economic experts. However, I do tend to disagree with them sometimes, right? Because I have my own viewpoints on certain economy type related things, So it's a great show. I have tons and tons of fun on that show, right? So that is our live shows that we do during the week. So if you like what you heard, make sure you follow, so you can always be able to catch a live and we can interact, and that's like that is so fun for me, right? So fun. But I also have some pre-recorded content. We have our candid conversations that are released on Mondays, right? And tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the state of quality assurance. And is it a dying field? Can QA survive in the new reality, right? Can QA survive? I'm going to be talking about that. Wednesdays, we have software explorations, concepts, and overviews. This coming Wednesday, we're going to be talking about cryptography. Yes, cryptography. A lot of algorithms, things like that. The cybersecurity role of a cryptographer or a cryptologist. So, and we're not talking about Tales from the Crypt. Nope. We're talking about cryptography, algorithms, securing systems, and all that good stuff. So tune in for that. And then Fridays, we have the Bug Bite. I'm going to be reviewing how Blue Yonder got a ransomware attack and how it affected the supply chain. All right. And then throughout the week, we have shorts that I'm working on getting more shorts, more AI generated music, more shorts from other shows that we've had, as well as clips from the Q&A show. I have clips coming from the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show, which I love that song that it has on Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate, the theme song for that. Love it. Right. But yeah, so that is, and we're going to be getting more as the new year ramps up. We're going to be getting more, right? So we just want to keep going. We just want to full steam ahead, right? Full steam ahead, right? So that is the information, right? Our housekeeping for today. So thank you to everyone who tunes in and supports the show. All right. So what is our plan for today? Before we get into our plan, let me check the chat real quick to see what we have going on. All right. So let me see. Yakar says, if I want to keep my job, then yes. And that is in response to the survey. So there is a poll going right now. And I would love to see what you guys say. We'll check it throughout the show. But if you work for Amazon and they are requiring you to return to office, right? Are you going to actually return to office, or are you going to walk away? Are you going to walk away? Say, are you going to turn the page on Amazon, right? So I'm curious to know. Mitch says, I would do it if I was working there already, but I would be working on my exit, but I most likely would never work there as well. Fair enough. And Yakar also says that I wouldn't work for Amazon. That's a doom loop job. They are about efficiency, so your job is always at risk. And oh my goodness, they're having a full conversation here. It says, Who wants to be stressed out every day? I don't mind being stressed out every day. That's just insane. I mean, dealing with you two knuckleheads, dealing with you two knuckleheads, sometimes I am a little bit stressed out.
I'm a knucklehead at times.
I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just to say you worked for a big company. Fair enough. Fair enough. And says, I'd rather work at Disney. What? Than Amazon. When you say Disney, do you mean ESPN or Disney itself? Disney, right? And Mitch says that he's going to start calling me a when I don't agree. Fair enough, fair enough. And says just make up another name for QA and it will survive. Why you gotta give away my secrets, Yakar? Why do you have to give away my secrets? Terrible, Yakar, terrible. You think it's going away? Says Ralph, the other one is more what I go for. Think more. I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about. I have to always change my brain when Mitch is talking in cryptic languages, like a cryptographer does. Mitch could be a cryptographer, I'm just saying. All right, so let me see. Your car says about the Amazon thing. I'm gonna start saving these, like favoriting these, so I can read them all in one bunch, right? And we'll review it at the end of the show as well. It says, but he says it doesn't think that QA. Actually, this is not about Amazon. It says I don't think that QA is going. I don't think it goes back to when I was saying most companies don't understand what it takes to be successful dev team. They just start hiring based off of limited knowledge. That is a fact. That is a fact, your car. And Mitch says dealing with us. We got Roxy in the building. What's up, Roxy? How are you doing? Roxy? So happy as always to see you here. That's why every time I see Roxy's name, I just have to.
Roxy on the scrubs, always shining bright, carrying hands on a heart, bringing hope to the night.
Love it. Thank you, Roxy. Thank you. Always a pleasure to have you here. It says Disney, whatever part not in the field. So you're saying you're not going to dress up like Minnie Mouse? What? That's why. If you're going to dress up like Minnie Mouse, I'm definitely going to Disney. But never mind. I don't have to go. Thanks a lot, Mitch. Thanks a lot. So Kara says QA is needed is just going to take a lot of failure by companies. Then those companies ask the successful companies what's on their team. They will see. And they will all see they have QA. That is true. All right. All right. Mitch, you know what, Mitch? You get one of these, Mitch. You get one of these for being bad, all right?
Do not come.
All right. Anyways, all right, let's get to it. So what we're going to start off with, with investigating. We're going to start off investigating the Google Cloud Platform to see if there's any charges in there yet, to see what's going on with that. And then we'll go into our deployment. We're going to check the cost. Then we're going to see if we can do the secure connection for our database so I can take off the access to everyone. And then we are going to do the deployment for the latest with our security stuff. All right. So that's the plan for today. Let's get to it. Let me start our first timer.
It's time to do.
All right. So let me go ahead and go to. All right. Let's go to Google Cloud, and I am going to. Why is this here? All right, so we're gonna go to this screen, and let me see if I can find some cost type thing over here. So this is for December. Okay. Oh, Mitch, look at this. It says FinOps score. Google gives you a FinOps score. That's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. All right, so let's see what we can do. Can I see from, let's see, last 7 days? I got a cost of 1 penny. Imagine that. So what I was saying earlier is that what I was saying earlier is that what happens is that the way that what do you call it? The Google Cloud Run works is when, so you'll see if I haven't been to the application in a while, it's gonna take a few minutes, not a few minutes, a few seconds for it to start up. So so what happens is it is actually launching the application at the time. So when there's no use, it brings it stops it, so you don't use resources. So now if it was getting a lot of traffic, then you'd see the costs going up. But it's no one really knows about it. So so yeah, so that's pretty interesting way to save money, which now I'm like, all right, I definitely am considering moving the other application to Google Cloud Platform as well, so that I can so I can save a lot of money, right? So I can save a lot of money. Because those AWS bills are not cheap. They're not cheap, right? So, but I also wonder, does the Fargate at AWS also have that model as well? So it's definitely something to look into. Okay, so let me see if could I do. I see that it says the last 7 days, but I wish I could do like, let me see, view details on report, and if I say, can I change this to? All right, let's say we change that from the beginning of November to, and for the whole month, um, it's been about a penny of use. we've we've used about a penny, and that penny comes more from the artifact registry. That the artifact registry, I believe it is our storage of our images, and not the storage, and not the, so we didn't do it. So okay, Cloud Run was 7 cents, since we've been using it for about, so, and it's been running for about a week now. However, we do have some credits with Google Cloud Platform, so that's why it is saying a negative 7 cents. So, but the artifact is being charged for. Okay, cool. So I mean, nothing too crazy, nothing too crazy. Let me see if can I drill in on this? Let's see. Yeah, I'd like to see like a full month of it running. So what I'll probably do after we deploy and after we secure everything, we can see if we can keep a if we can keep a, like, do some type of investigation to see how much it costs. But the way that it's looking right now, it looks like it, because even if they apply the discount, as long as I can see the cost for like a month, I'll probably be like moving over really, really quickly. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's continue on with what our plans are for today. So next up, we're going to start securing this stuff. Let me go to, let me log into Mongo. All right, then. So, all right, we're in Mongo. So I believe what I'm going to have to do is when I go to all right, we're in the right project, Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. We have our other one here, and we're going to want to go to network access. So so last week when we did this, I meant to have this only on for 6 hours, and I was wondering, why is it that I'm still able to access this? Well, that's because of this was allowing all access to the database, right? But we're going to change that. So now we're going to do a Google search for, we're going to say, we are going to say MongoDB network access to Google Cloud Run. So I had already looked it up earlier. And we're gonna say, how do you connect to Mongo Atlas from Google Cloud? We're gonna look at this one. And we have, all right, so basically the answer is right here. So yeah, I saw this earlier. So it says you need to change the MongoDB connection string to the private connection string. You can retrieve this by clicking on connect under clusters, the dashboard. As far as I can see, it's not documented anywhere in MongoDB pure networking guide. Whitelist the CIDR from both the VPC itself and the CIDR range from the serverless connector in the Mongo Atlas network settings. Okay. That's similar to what we did on AWS a few months ago. So we just have to figure it out over here as well. So create a VPC on the Google Cloud side. All right. So let me make sure. So all right. So how do you connect to a MongoDB Atlas Cloud Run when using VPC and pure networking? What if I'm not? Am I using VPC? All right. Let's find out what we're actually using over here. Right. So let's go to Cloud Run. And if we look at our API, which is the one that's connecting to the Mongo, and let's say allow direct access to your service from the internet. Okay, so there is no VPC. I wonder if there's a guide that tells us more on how to do this, because I have taken the following steps. Create a VPC on the Google Cloud side following instructions. Set up a networking peer from between my VPC and my MongoDB Atlas VPC. Set up serverless VPC access using a connector. Redeployed Cloud Run containers using the connector above. Added the CIDR. It's a lot of steps actually, but it is what it is. We do want to secure this connection. So let's go to this one. You can create a, so it says create network. You can choose to create an auto mode or custom mode VPC. Each new network that you create must have a unique name within the same project. Create an auto mode VPC network. When you, and by the way, this is like all totally new to me on Google Cloud Platform. So I'm going to figure it out with you. You're going to see me struggle and, just try to get it to work, right? It says when you create an auto mode VPC, one subnet is created in each Google Cloud region. As new regions become available, new subnets in those regions are automatically added to the auto mode. That sounds expensive. Read the considerations for auto mode VPC network before you create one for production use. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Before we do all that, let me see if there's any easier way to do this thing. All right, so let's say MongoDB private endpoint GCP Google Cloud Run. And this is how I search for stuff. I just as it comes to my mind, I'm like, oh, put this in this word and see what happens, right? So to access MongoDB private endpoint from a Google Cloud Run service on the GCP, you need to use the private service connect to establish a secure private connection within your VPC. So I do need a VPC, allowing your Cloud Run service to reach the MongoDB using internal IP address without exposing it to the public internet. This is the most secure. All right, so the key points about using the private service connect for MongoDB access on cloud, and create a service attachment. So in your MongoDB Atlas cluster setting, create a service attachment which works as a target. Let me go back and let's click on these. All right, so private network connectivity. Google Cloud, private cloud. All right. I wonder what's the cost associated with this. You can think of a VPC network the same way you think of a physical network, except it is virtualized within Google Cloud. A VPC network is a Google resource that consists of a list of regional virtual subnetworks. Yeah. All right. Okay. VPC sharing, VPC network peering, private access to services. You can use private service connect, private Google access, and private service access to let VMs that don't have an external IP address communicate with supported services. So I think that's what they said we need to do, right? Use private service connect to establish a secure private connection. So let's see if we go to this one. All right, private service connect. This document provides an overview of private service connect. All right, private service connect sits over here, and Google APIs, producer VPC, interface, backend endpoint, going through the private connect. Okay. Let's see. We look back over here, so it says to access a MongoDB private endpoint from a Google Cloud Run service on GCP, you need to use a private service connect to establish a secure private connection within your VPC network. Okay, so if we go and let's start looking around over here, right? Let's enough talking about it. Let's be about it. VPC. I guess we'd go to VPC networks. And so we do have one, a default one here, 43 subnets as well. Okay, so what if we were to say, networks in current project, subnets in current project. So if this exists, then we're not getting charged for it. All right, so let's go to Cloud Run. So if we need to, all right, let me see. So let's go to Cloud Run. Let's go to this one. And we say networking. There is no network. We do not want to reduce code. Okay, so what I was talking about earlier, that's called a cold start, right? When it gets accessed, it hasn't been accessed in a while. Then it's going to spin up a server, and it doesn't take too long for it. It takes maybe like 30 seconds before it actually starts to work, which is totally fine for an app like this, you know? We're not trying to pay $1 million a month for this, all right? So, all right, so let me see. Edit and deploy new revision. So if we have all of this, and we have Cloud SQL connections, add a container, memory, the port, and this is for the API, networking. Connect to a VPC for outbound traffic. Allow your service to send traffic to a virtual private cloud. I think this might be what we need. So if we do this, how to choose between VPC options. Compare direct VPC egress and VPC connectors. This page is for networking specialists who want to compare the following methods. All right, let's go ahead and click this button, right? And then it'll say, all right, use the default, which seems reasonable. Use VPC connectors to proxy the traffic. Use serverless VPC connectors. Send traffic directly to a VPC. So let's try that. Let's just try this one, right? We're going to say deploy. Hopefully it doesn't change the URL, because if it does, then we're going to have to redeploy the front end as well and pass in the pass in this URL as well. So hopefully it didn't do that. Let's take a look at let's see. So this is up. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see if we were to go to networking. So all right, we have this here. Perfect. Route only request to private IPs. Route only request to private IPs to the VPC. Okay, so let's see. All right, let's see if this application is still working, right? Because now, let me see. Let's go here. Let's see if this is still working, right? Because it should still be working because see how it's taking a long time to start? That's because it's doing a cold start right now because there's no instances running. If we were to have instances constantly running, then that would be costing us money. And for this application where it's mainly for us to use on Saturday mornings, it doesn't need to start up like on an instance, right? So just know that so I'm okay with that. All right, there we go. So if it's still able to connect to our API, then we should get results when we do a search, right? So that is what we're going to give a try as soon as it finishes loading up. Like I said, it's a cold start. It's doing the whole deployment on a new instance as it's needed, which is totally okay with me. In a production environment, you definitely don't want to do this, but for our needs, it is totally okay, all right? So I'm gonna search for jobs and see if we get any results. And we do have results, so that's good. So that means we're still able to access the definitions over here. All right, so cool, perfect. Just what we wanted to see. Okay, so this is still good. Now we are going to. I'm gonna leave this open for a little bit. We're gonna go. Let me close this. Let me close this. Let me go to. Let me close this. Let's continue. Let me close this as well. So we got the first step done, I believe. In your Mongo Atlas cluster setting, create a service attachment which acts as a target for your private endpoint connection. Oh, that one I'm not 100% sure on what they're referring to. But if we also look for at the Stack Overflow that I was using earlier, it was. Let me take a look at that one as well. And this is how I figure things out. Like honestly, I'm Googling, I'm Stack Overflowing, I'm trial and error. So create a VPC on the Google Cloud side, following instructions. Okay, we got that. Set up a network peering between my VPC and my MongoDB Atlas. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. It says to set up a network peering. It says this feature is not available on any of the following deployments. Serverless instances. Well, there goes that. There goes that one. However, I should be able to use the private endpoint though, which that would be what the API is connecting to. So let's go into Atlas, and I can go ahead and set this up. So let's go to private endpoints, and we're going to say a serverless instance. We're going to say create new endpoint, and we're going to say select the serverless instance you want to connect. I want to oh, what in the world? Why would you say such a thing to me? It says that it's unavailable.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
Is it because? Maybe it's that. Okay, maybe it's that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, it is officially break time. So let's go to break. All right. I am back. All right. How is everyone doing? A lot of stuff that we're working on today. We'll see how far we can get. But thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Jesus Christ. This is what happens with these long weekends. This is what happens when I have these long weekends. I start losing track of my days. This Sunday afternoon as we are working our way through our software explorations on DevOps and stuff like that, right? Let's see. We got Roxy with the hands of love. And Mitch says, Minnie Mouse, you already a cartoon. What? How dare you, Mitch? How dare you? Let me keep reading what your car was saying about QA. He says, then there will be some big revelation. There will be some big revelation that tech people start making posts on LinkedIn about. It says, then it will be boot camps about QA. Say it ain't so, your car. Say it ain't so. And here we go again. The cycle goes round and round and round. Let me see. All right, so Mitch said he did not know about the FinOps little dashboard thingy on the I wonder if I can give me see this I'm telling you, I really get this OCD when I'm seeing things that make me unhappy, like, you know, because like now this color is bothering me. So I'm like, all right, I mean, can I mess with this color a little bit where I could make that darker so you guys can actually see, or so I can see, or maybe if I was to make it like, no, let's go with black, because then you can't see Mitch's name. Where's my colors? Hold on. Bear with me for a second here. I got distracted. All right, there we go. That works for me. That works for me just fine. All right, cool. So let's continue. Mitch said that imagine the cloud bill at these companies. You know what, Mitch? I don't have to imagine the cloud bill at these companies because I see them. When I log in, and we have multiple environments, right? When I log in and I see the AWS bills that my company has, when I log in and I see the AWS bill that I have for my personal stuff, I'm like, Jesus, it just breaks my heart. And that's why we are always looking for cost-saving opportunities. How can we use Lambdas to save storage cost, things like that. But yeah, like it is a lot. Like the amount that these companies pay to AWS, to Google, to Azure, to Mongo, to whoever, it is out. Like you would not believe it. And that's why. And that goes with what I was talking about, where QA misses the mark, and what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow about not being part of the team. You know, you're just like, oh, this is my job and that's it. But then when you get undervalued or replaced, then, you know, your car says Sunday, thank you, your car. Because I was like, what?
Bruh.
Definitely Sunday. And Mitch says there's one bootcamp QA, Ralph, you might like. It says, I'll type it, then delete it. No free promos. All right, what is it? It says, Ralph better be hosting the bootcamp. Let's get that money. See, that's the tough part, your car. That's the tough part. The same way that you guys have your morals and your beliefs on these monopolies. That's how I feel about these boot camps, and I mean, and it might be more that I don't want to train all these people that I know are not going to make it in the industry. That's why I pick a select few that I'm like, all right, you can make it, and let's go out there and get it. Right. So that's my personal issue. That is my personal issue. And Mitch says road to QA. Well, Mitch, I have some people though who might want to ask you a little bit about that, but you can go ahead and get rid of that. You can go ahead and get rid of that one, Mitch. I I guess I just did the free promo. Mitch. Oh my God. It says cloud cost optimization. It says, yeah, if you learn FinOps, that's a plus. With what you already know, definitely. And your car says, just don't lie. Well, your car, if you don't lie, then how are you going to get any clients? Because they tell them that, hey, in 6 months, you are going to be making 250K, and you might be able to do it in just 3 jobs, right? You might not have to get 10. You might be able to do it in just 3 jobs. So, I mean, hey, Mitch, what do I care? What do I care? If they, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, we're promoting them, all right? We're promoting them, all right? So come on, Mitch. But go ahead. You're a moderator. You can delete it. Your car can delete it. You guys, if you guys want to delete it, feel free to delete it. I don't care one way or the other. I don't care. All right. So real quick, in our very first break, I wanted to go over this return to office thing with Amazon, right? So I am going to throw that up there. Amazon employees rage applying. Have you ever heard of that, rage applying? Well, let's start our timer to find out a little bit more about that. And we're going to go over to this over here, right? We have the Amazon CEO right there, right? And it says, Amazon employees are rage applying. Let me zoom in a little bit on this one so we can see it a little bit better. It says, Amazon employees are rage applying, in a rage, as its return to office mandate looms. Experts say that's exactly what CEO Andy Jassy wants. Ooh, I guess he got y'all.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So let me get this off the screen as well so I can actually see myself because I enjoy seeing myself, you know, so I'm just saying. All right, so it says Amazon's return to office policy announced in September mandating employees work in person 5 days a week starting in 2025 has workers irritated. They are upset. They're like this. This is what they're saying right here. They're saying,
I hate it here. I want to go home.
Except they are already at home and they have to go to the office. All right, so there's that. The tech mammoth strict RTO push might just be a sneaky means of laying off workers, some future of work experts say. Amazon likely already knows the new policy will nudge dissatisfied workers out, meaning the company will no longer have to go through the tough process of formal layoffs. You're going to have to lay me off, buddy. You're going to have to lay me off. As a trade-off, the RTO crusade could come at the expense of the company's own talent and tech advancement. There's a new software engineer born every day, and guess what? All right, guess what? I'll share my thoughts after we get through this, right? So Amazon's presumably took the view they would rather control cost by cutting headcount and take the hit technology and innovation, Stanford economist Nicholas Bloom told Business Insider. The company may be the company may be content with making the sacrifice of some brain drain. The RTO crackdown came in tandem with CEO Andy Jassy calling for a reduction in managers and a bump in the ratio of workers to manage by 15% by the end of 2025's first quarter. Amazon said its RTO shift is an effort to strengthen company culture and that the company has no plans to reduce its headcount. Brian Elliott, Future of Work advisor and author of How the Future Works, leading flexible teams to do the best work of their lives, agreed with Bloom. He told Fortune Amazon will undoubtedly see employee attrition as a result of the mandate because it continues to be widely unpopular amongst most U.S. workers. I have my thoughts on this. Right? The vast majority of people want something that is in the middle. They want a couple of days a week together that are meaningful with their team, he said. And by the way, those people, the flexibility is taken away from are much more likely to jump ship. A study from human resources consulting firm Robert Half, oh my God, Robert Half annoys the hell out of me. They used to annoy the hell out of me. They would call me nonstop, but now they haven't called me in a few years, so it is what it is. Conducted last month revealed 39% of office workers in Australia. Why are we talking about Australia? We're in the United States of America right now. Why are we talking about Australia? Would quit if, so 39% of office workers in Australia would quit if their company slashed flexible working. Amazon employees are already bolstering that statistic. Anonymous job reviews said site Blind, which surveyed 2,585 verified Amazon workers a day, surveyed them a day after Jassie's RTO announcement, found that 73% of employees considered quitting their job as a result of the mandate. I am curious to see if these 70% of people are not working paycheck to paycheck, because although you would consider it, are you actually going to do it? I think not. Amazon's high risk strategy. These backdoor layoffs, as Bloom refers to them, have already made a splash in other workplaces. According to research by Bamboo HR, published in May, surveying over 1,500 U.S. managers, about a quarter of executives said they hoped employees would voluntarily leave the company after the implementation of an RTO mandate. When AT&T mandated its 60,000 workers across 9 of its 350 offices work in person, some employees interpreted the push as a way to eliminate workers unable
or chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
Unable or uninterested in relocating to their offices. CEO John Stanky estimated that 15% of the affected workforce, about 9,000 employees, would face the choice of relocating or leave the company altogether. Let me see how much more is this. All right, so it's not that much more of it. So it's a layoff wolf. It's a layoff wolf in return to office in sheep's clothing, an anonymous AT&T employee told Bloomberg. The sneaky layoff strategy hasn't always worked out for employers. Almost half of the employers that implemented RTO policies saw a greater than anticipated leave of employee attrition, according to the 2023 report from Unispace. Almost 30% reported recruitment difficulties. Amazon will face the same risk, Elliott argued. Other tech companies may keep their flexible work policies as a means to poach Amazon's talent, and Amazon may struggle to hire new faces, he said. This talent pool shrinks even more for women who may need flexibility for childcare and managers who can leverage experience to find a cushier job elsewhere. You lose a set of people in your organization, Elliott said. You lose high performance. So I'm going to get into my thoughts on the next break, but I am curious though. Do you think the government, the government who is trying to break up Google, who's trying to say who is a monopoly and who's not a monopoly, do you think that they should impose work from home laws? Should they force Amazon to have their employees to allow their employees to work from home? Maybe a hybrid schedule. I don't know. Should the government force that? That is my question. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we will go to our second segment and go from there. Right. So it looks like, oh my goodness, you guys. All right. So Mrs. Even data roles now are more mid to senior level, not entry level. That's a fact. There are no entry level roles nowadays. It says then they will team up and go against him. Against me? They're gonna go against me? Who want this? I'm ready. I'm born ready. I am born ready. I'm built for it. All right. It says that's called free promotion. It says, to be honest, I think that decision came from Bezos. Oh, we're gonna accuse Bezos now. Oh my goodness. He's just trying to live his best life, trying to control his reporters at the Washington Post. They are rebelling against him like he is a bad actor. They loved him 4 years ago, but now they are trying to cut off with his head. Off with his head. I know he doesn't run the company, but he does. Mitch, say it without saying it, Mitch. Say it without saying it. It says, who want to deal with that BS? And it's going to say, controversy sells. I don't have any controversy with anybody, because guess what? I just ignore them. I don't care. Like, I just say my piece, and if they want to call on a Tuesday night and have a conversation, I will talk to anybody, right? But I have seen the work that these people have produced, that these different all the boot camps, multiple boot camps. I've seen the work that they produced, and I always end up saying,
do not come
right? And says it's going to be Kendrick Lamar versus Drake in this, and you know who I'll be? I'll be the spectator just eating my popcorn like that Michael Jackson gif, like because I don't got no problems with nobody. I don't got no. If I just look, I ordered one of those robot vacuums the other day, and it sucked, and I sent it back, and I got a new one, and it is doing its job while I'm on the stream. It is. I hear it moving. You know what? I'll even show you. I will even show you right here. Show you. Is it still running? Let me see. Let me see if it's still working. I even named it Abigail, right? See, look at that. It's all doing a deep clean. Let me see if I can. Does that work? It's doing a deep cleaning right now. It's in the dining room, going all around the house, doing its job. It's mopping and vacuuming and doing all that it's got to do. So, you know, I don't care about all I care about is my technology, my applications, all that stuff, right? So I don't got no problems with anybody. Since I still don't agree, I hate all that internet lies. I never liked that stuff. I hate internet lies as well. Whoever is head of the board made the decision. The CEO is like LLC that you can take the hit while the money is in the C corp or trust. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop right there. At Mitch's. So next, and we're gonna get back to work for a little bit, and then I'll catch up, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts on the next break on this whole Amazon thing. And then we'll have our last segment, all right? But because I don't, we got to get to work. Right? The work is what's most important, and then we have fun on the way. And if we have to drop a beat, in the middle of the show, then we shall drop a beat if we have to, right? So let's continue on. Let's put up another 20-minute timer.
Let's go!
All right, so we were trying to see how we're gonna set this up, right? Because I cannot, and the thing is, it was able to do it for, if we were to go to our other one, right? Let's say we go to this one. We have a network access. We have a private endpoint, right? Peering. We had a peering as well. Did we use a peering? I don't know. So maybe we have to create the pair. No, I don't think we had to. Oh, I know why it's not available, because we did it through AWS. So AWS allows the private endpoint. So on Google, let's see what happens if we do the pairing? All right, so we're gonna do pairing. We're gonna say add pairing connection. We're gonna do Google Cloud. We're gonna say next, and my project ID should be, let me see, Urban Dictionary Economic Data. But let's confirm. All right, so let's confirm our project ID, and let me see. Yep, Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. All right, we got that. And we're gonna go to hide instructions, and it says VPC name. You can find this in your GCP. All right, so it should be default. Add an Atlas GCP. You cannot modify the CIDR block if you have an existing cluster. Let's give it a try, I think. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens with that. All right, so while it's doing that, let's see what's next. So create a private endpoint. Let's see. Let me see what this is. So let me see. Create a private endpoint within the services networking. Create a private endpoint. to your cloud provider's console, access the relevant service, like your database or storage, go to the network setting, create a private endpoint. Oh, I don't think this is the... So if we were to do, and this is the little intricacies, right? So Google Cloud Run connects to MongoDB serverless, right? Let's see if this has done its thing yet. Let me refresh to make sure. All right, it says establishing a, so pending establishing a, all right, so you currently have no private IP ranges in your IP access list. You will need to add the private IP range of the subnet in which your application is hosted, to the IP access list in order to connect to your Atlas cluster GCP network generated in auto mode. Use a, so there are no private IP range in your IP access list. Let me see what this says. All right, so we need to, okay. And it says you will need to add the private IP range of the subnets in which your application is hosted to the IP address, to the IP access list in order to connect to your Atlas cluster. GCP networks generated in auto mode use a CIDR range of, so let me see. All right, so let's take this one then. We're gonna go here, copy that. And we're gonna go to here, and we're going to say add this, and we're going to say paste that, and GCP access. All right, confirm. I do want to turn this one off. Okay. All right, so that's done. Now, if I refresh this, now it says the establishing a peer connection. Okay, now what? Now what? So, in your Cloud Run, let's see. Let's go back real quick. Oops. All right, so there was another one I was looking for. So Google Cloud connects, okay. All right, let's see this, the one right here. So serverless mean stack, mean stands for Mongo Express. What's the A for again? What is the A for again? I know node. Mongo Express. I don't remember what the A is for, but whatever. Let me see. Mean stack. What does the A stand for? Angular. We're using the MERN stack. We're using the MERN stack. We're not using the means. We're using the MERN stack. All right. So, all right. Let's see here. So it says containerized deployments, no infrastructure, cloud runs that are lead. Deploying a serverless database with Mongo Atlas. MongoDB launched serverless instances, a new fully managed serverless database deployment to solve this problem. With the serverless instance, you never have to think about infrastructure, which is great. Simply deploy your database and it will scale up and down seamlessly based on demand, requiring no hands-on management. The best part, you will only be charged for operating. All right, cool. To make our okay, so now my question is, okay, we have that. Okay, we have that. We did all of this. And we say Okay, we got all that. So we have our, okay, so here we are. Connect to the mean stack database, set up connectivity, connection security, add a connection IP address. All right, we did that, but we also need to be able to connect to it from Google. So we have all this. Get some water. So deploy the Express in Node.js REST API. Okay. Oh, they're doing it all. Oh, that's interesting. They have the Docker file all from within here. That's pretty cool. So here is the tricky part right here. So the Atlas URI, which is their environment variable. All right, so service name. Now the question is, select a region close to your database region to reduce latency. Authentication, allow unauthenticated invocations. But I don't see the setting that they did within the, I don't see how they allowed the connection to their, let me see here. Allow access from, oh, you see, they use what we don't want to use. They use what we don't want to use. So thanks for nothing. All right, can't connect from, all right, so can't connect to Mongo Atlas from GCP Cloud Run Instance. All right, so it says you can attempt to establish a connection by using a private IP access from Cloud Run to MongoDB Atlas clusters. Configuration ensures that MongoDB connects exclusively through private IP addresses. This configuration will be using VPC peering. Okay, so we set up our VPC peering. So we need to do a private IP address. Okay, that's what we're leaning towards. All right, we got all that. So we did this. Let me see what this one is. So VPC pairing on. So go to VPC network pairing. Okay, cool. So creating a pairing. All right, so set up and manage a VPC network pairing. Google Cloud VPC network pairing enables internal IP addresses connectivity across two virtual private clouds network, regardless of whether they belong to the same project or same organization. Pairing supports connectivity between networks and having dual stack subnets. So for more information, see VPC pairing network. Before you begin, you must have the name of the VPC network which you have to pair with. If that network is located in another project, you must have the project ID of that project. Okay, we did all that. A pairing configuration established in the intent to connect to another VPC. Your network and the other network are not connected until each has a pairing configuration for the other. Okay. Google Cloud allows one peer-related activity at a time across peer networks, for example. Okay, so, all right, let's go to VPC pairing then. Let's go here. And we will say create connection, continue. And we're going to say default. We're going to say VPC network name. Or, all right, let's say UDEC VPC peer, right? And VPC peered network in maybe another project. Let me see what we have inside of our here, right? Atlas, okay, Atlas GCP oh, look at that, look at that. We have our GCP project ID right here. We're gonna take that and we're going to drop it like it's hot right in here in another project. And we're gonna say bada bing, right? Bada bing. And then we're gonna go to this one again. We're gonna take the VPC name. right? We're gonna take it over here. We're gonna say bada bada boom, all right? And then we're going to say, let me see, anything else? Let's go to, I guess we go and create, right? Let me see, anything else that stood out over, all right, let's go to, anything else when you're over here? So we have the Atlas CIDR, okay, I don't know if that's gonna do anything, but let's go ahead and let's create. Let's go ahead and create, and if we have to do it over, then we'll do it over, but let's go ahead and create, right? Let's go ahead and create. All right, so now, let's go into here and see what happens. And it says peer network is connected. Are we really connected? Oh, we are. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right, so now if we go back over to this one over here. Oh, would you look at that?
We the best.
Okay, all right, now, let's go and do, let's see what else we're gonna do. All right, so now let me look at our instructions. We have our connections all set up and ready to go. We did, all right, so we did this, so in your Cloud Run service configuration, specify the internal IP of the private endpoint to, I don't think that's what we did though. What would be the internal IP of the private endpoint to connect to your, what is this? All right, so access from Cloud Run. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Because that would be the, how to access, no, that's not it. What would be the IP that they're looking for? Would it be like, I don't think it would be this. No, it can't be this. Let's go to network. Let's go to, we got that. I don't, okay, okay. Now that we do this, what else do we have to do? So let me click on this, see if there's anything in here. Not yet. If we go back over to export subnet routes with public IP. All right, so let me go back. All right, so set up a service VPC, use access using the connector. Add the CID. All right, so you said, for the person who did this, whitelist the CIDR range from both the VPC itself and the CIDR range from the serverless connector in the Mongo Atlas network setting. From the serverless connector, or from step 3? What is step 3? So from step 1, set up serverless VPC access using a connector. Let's try this. So we'll see what happens, right? We will see what happens. So let's go over here. And before we do that, let's go over here and let's go remove the access to to this, right? We're going to delete that one. More water. Okay. Now we are going to, redeploy. Let's see how the cookie crumbles. I guess we're gonna go to click on that one. And we're going to say, let me see. Where do we redeploy? All right, edit and redeploy. Everything else stays the same. Okay, everything else stays the same. And we're going to say, I think that's everything, honestly. Connect to a VPC for use serverless VPC access connectors. I don't know. Let's try this. Let's try this. See what happens. We're gonna deploy. Worst case scenario, we can just turn the other thing back on. It says all right, so something happened. The user provided container failed to start and listen on port 3000. This happens when the container is misconfigured, or it's all right. So let's take a look at the logs. And it said that it could not connect to the MongoDB. Okay, fair enough. Let's go to let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this networking thing. And what is this serverless VPC accessors? So let's say we did add a new connection. Because I read we read something about that, right? And we say enable. Let's see what this does. Enable serverless VPC access connectors. That might be what we need, actually. I have to create another peer connection. Let's see. But I'll say this, right?
Lunch break. Lunch break.
This whole DevOps work is really, really fun, I must say. Let's see if this thing pops up. So, what do we have left to do? I would like to get this connection working. And we do want to push the latest image of our application to add the security, as well as the changes that we did on the UI as well. What we can do is push the latest changes once we get back from break, and then because that shouldn't take us that much time, and then in the remaining time we can work on getting these trying to work on this connection so that we can have this access. All right, so we'll figure that out. All right, but let's go to break. While it's doing this thing, I'll keep monitoring it. And there we are. Cool. So a lot of stuff going on. Let me continue with the chat, and then once I'm done with the chat, then I'm going to give my thoughts on the article from about AWS, maybe wanting their employees to quit. All right. So Mitch had said from earlier. He says, imagine we always on live, then we start our own channels, etc. Now people waiting to hear the BS why we left. Just dumb to me. Well, you know. It is what it is. I mean, there's so much stuff that happens. I'm like, nobody cares, right? But it is funny. But I'll tell you one thing that is funny though, Mitch. When someone was associated with another person, and because they were of that association, they were getting a lot of traffic and stuff like that. And then they got all, actually I should be wearing the cocky hat instead of the black sheep hat, but they got all excited and stuff like that. And then once they go on their own, and now they get nobody, right? See, me, I'm okay with because I'm doing this for us to learn and for us to work and for us to have fun, because sometimes we might just drop a beat and we just go from there. But a lot of people, like, they're relying on it, they're depending on it, and then once that well dries up because they didn't get a text message, your car knows how that goes. They didn't get a text message, and then it is all downhill from there. Okay, says I was so Mitch says I was talking to Ralph about starting a boot camp, and then the other boot camp people ganged up on him. That's the free promotion. I don't agree with the idea. I just agree with someone. Hey, I'm with it. But here's the thing, right? They can gang up on me, but the truth will always win because show me your results. Show me your results, right? Implementing the idea honestly. Good luck with that. It says, I think people will go in. They have no choice if they need the money unless there are people that have to move to the office. Majority won't move. But here's the question, right? Because if they're paying for relocation, which, I mean, it's still hard to move because if you have all your roots in one spot, you have your kids in the school and stuff like that. But back in the days, you remember back in the days, Mitch, when we were kids, pretty much, people used to move across the country for a job, right? That's how it was. You're like, oh, we have new neighbors moving in, and it's like, oh yeah, because I just accepted a job over here. How did they hear about the job? I have no idea, right? But that used to happen, or people get relocated. Relocation used to be a thing back in the days. You know what I mean? It says, I know I just added to it. Don't make me call you a. It says they aren't going to go in and they will have a job for a while until Amazon finds a qualified candidate who is willing to come into the office for less money straight out of college. That's possible. So I don't think you should force anyone to do anything, but hey, what do I know? Well, Mitch, do you extend the anyone to a company or an entity? Is it anyone should not be like anything? Anyone should not be forced to do anything or any, that's what I'm wondering, right? Hikari says people better wake up. People better wake up. It's not a buyer's market. It is a seller's market. So, and Mitch is asking, who is the buyer and who is the seller? No one is going to force them. Amazon will slowly replace them and they will get that email at home when they go to log in. It won't even be an email. It's like, oh, you don't have access. You do not have access. Firing someone while they are at home is so much easier. That is true. I mean, if you don't come to the office to get fired, it's kind of tough. It says, where is McKinley? Better have that floor clean. I changed the name to, after I returned the first one and the new one, I named Abigail, right? I named the new one Abigail. All right, so let's see. Companies have the upper hand, not the people trying to get hired. Yep, that's definitely a fact. It says fired, delete email, cry at home, or your car, or they cry in the car. I'm just saying. It says or this, so your car is saying this will not work for the gentleman out there. It says if you're a lady, you jump on TikTok crying with your Cash App tag, post it for donations because it is hard out here for a.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
It's tough, right? It says you're right. Roles that were, let's say 150, a lot of them are now 110 to 115K. You get the point. Yep, gotcha. So many chats. Says, how many cups does Ralph have? I have a plethora of cups. I'm actually getting rid of a bunch of cups because this house is too full. So getting rid of stuff. Let me check. You know what? That reminds me of car. Let me check on how it's performing. Okay, so where are you now? Okay, it went back home to clean and wash up the mop. All right, cool. Just making sure it's on point, doing its job. All right, just making sure it's doing its job. All right, cool. Gotta supervise the help. All right, let's see. All right, let me get into my thoughts on the whole Amazon thing, right? A lot of what Yakar and Mitch are saying are kind of my thoughts and sentiments, right? Let's say a big majority of the developers, not even like whoever quits in the returns office, right? Is Amazon not like how? Because Amazon primarily, right? If it's going to be the people supporting the website and all that, they're like, as long as they could keep the sales going, the website up and everything like that, they don't necessarily have to add new innovation every single day. They can be on maintenance mode for a while until they figure this out. And I think that there are going to be people who are in these locations who are qualified to work for Amazon. Now, Amazon might have to lower their standards a little bit when it comes to like these all-day tests and all these crazy algorithms that people have to solve. But if they want people in the office, you are going to lose a talent pool. But you can start bringing in people who are probably qualified for the job. But you have a lot of people in there. So if people start to voluntarily leave, yeah, and you can also get qualified candidates who would be willing to move to an Amazon location. And Amazon is opening a lot more offices around the world, So I don't necessarily see it as like, oh, it's a doom and gloom, because if Amazon wants people in the office, then they're going to like they know that they're gonna suffer some hits, and it also gives people opportunities to go find other jobs. I mean, if it's all right. It might be a trade, it might be a trade. It might be that, all right, and it's not an unofficial trade, but like, so this person leaves a company because they want to work from home. They leave Amazon because they want to work from home. Now, somebody who's working at another company, like, oh well, I'm willing to go work at Amazon and get some experience, get something nice on my resume, and I'm willing to move. I'm not tied down to any particular location, so I'm gonna move. And they move over to one of those locations, and so now they get the job that the other person had, and the other person gets another job, because if you're working for Amazon, that's street cred. That is street cred, right? Or tech cred, I should say, not street cred, right? Unless you're in these tech streets, of course, right? So I think that Amazon will be all right. I think they will definitely figure it out. So just my thoughts on the whole matter. Okay, now let me finish up the chat and then we'll get to our last segment. Let me see. Your car says, oh wait, Mitch said that's why people are trying to get two or more jobs, side jobs. Are people really getting tech jobs that way? I can see you get a tech job and you also drive Uber or you do DoorDash and stuff like that. But are people really stacking these tech jobs the way that they say they are? I can understand during the pandemic where it might have been happening. I don't know if it's really happening now, unless you're Ferris. That's a different story, right? Says your car says, yeah, people don't realize it's killing commercial real estate and local economy when we don't travel to work. It's really best for your community that you work in. That is a good point. That is a good point that your car is saying. It does help out the small businesses who make a lot of money around, I guess I'll call it metropolitan area that these offices are located. It says why he got all those cups. Leave my cups alone.
How dare you?
It says he has the hot teacup. I don't drink tea like that. Cold teacup, small water bottle, medium water bottle, water jug, extra large water jug, coffee cups, and a cup to have a cup in case one of the other cups don't cup right. That's a fact. Your car knows me. Your car knows me. He gets me, right? Consumers don't care about commercial real estate. Don't care that customer real estate is down. That's a business CEO problem. I mean, the big companies. The problem is majority of people did not know about remote work before 3 to 4 years ago. That's a fact. That is a fact. Now everybody knows. Says 3 or 4 years ago was a false sense because of the what. Now that it's over, the job market has to get over it. Take your butt back to the office before you have no office to go to. And your car is just being honest, all right? Let's stop right there for now, and we are going to jump on our last 20-minute segment before we wrap up the show. Let's continue. All right, so we're going to work on deploying our latest images. And then we'll get back to and this thing hasn't even created. Oh my goodness, what is going on with you? All right, what is going on with you? How dare you? Let me put up our last 20 minutes, all right?
It's time to do.
All right, so use server. Let's just say let me see. Do I add a new connector? Let me go over here. Okay, here we go. Let's do. US East 1, default network. I don't have a subnet. IP range must be unused. VPC network such as the VPC. Oh, let me see. Look at me getting sidetracked. Thank you very much. Let's go with this. And let's go with that. Or that didn't work out. IP range must be oh, okay. Let's cut that out. And I don't know, let's call it VPC serverless connector UD. Okay, whatever. Let's go with that for now. All right, so in the meantime, while it's doing its thing, let me go to Google Cloud submits. Let me see, get this documentation real quick as we go over to doing this. So Google Cloud submit, and then we're gonna put in the URL. And all right, so let me look at our artifacts registry. Now that I know the name of it. And we have our, this one. Okay, we're going to say, and this is located in what is the location this is in? Okay, so I guess it doesn't really matter. All right, so we are going to do, all right. We have our API. We are going to do, it's probably better not to do this now that I'm thinking about it, because if we do that and then it tries to start it up and we don't pass in a API key, I guess we could do that. Let me hold off on that. Let's hold off on that. We might have to push that over till next week, because doing these two simultaneously, if one of them doesn't work, let's finish one first and then we'll figure out the other one, all right? Because it won't be a good idea to break things in multiple ways. Connector in a bad state. Serverless access must be in a ready state. All right, so all right, let's go. Why? All right, let's go to see, like, because this isn't working. So let's see, VPC serverless access connector. Let's go here. Serverless access allows cloud functions, cloud run fully managed services to so we create a connector, and let's say we're in US East 1. I don't have a subnet. Whoa, we see all that cost, estimated cost. Jesus, are you crazy? And this is what costs a lot on AWS as well. So, all right, let's go. Let's get rid of that one. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. I ain't trying to pay all that money. All right, let's get rid of that. And while it's getting rid of that, let's go back to our send traffic to VPC. And we were looking at this one. Setup of serverless VPC access to you. I don't want to do that. So here it said in step 3, whitelist the, see, but we had the connection of these two, right? we have this connection and we have peering. So these two are connected to one another. So I think it's the address of the, because if I turn this back on, then it'll be okay. But I think it's the address that it's, you'll only be able to connect to your cluster from the following list of IP addresses. So from this IP address, we'll be able to connect. But what is the IP address of, let's say, cloud run? So we go here. And we go to revisions. And we go to networking. Ingress, allow direct access to from the internet. Okay. Route only request to the IPs. All right, so let's see what this subnet is. Oh, okay. Let's say if we use this right here. So we use this subnet right here, right? We copy that. And we go to, let's edit this and let's go to, oh wait, I didn't copy it. So we copy that and we go to paste that. And we confirm pairing. So our pairing is correct. Let's try to deploy again. Let's see what happens. We're over here and we're gonna go to deploy again. Let's see what happens. Gosh darn it. Let me see. So now let's Google let's do Mongo Atlas serverless, not peering, VPC pairing, connection string. All right, set up a network pairing connection. So maybe I have it set up, but it's not going to work. Is it not going to work because I'm using a serverless connection? All right, so I have the pairing connection set up, but I have it set up, but it's not going to connect because we're using a serverless deployment. Atlas does not support network pairing between clusters deployed in a single region on cloud providers. For example, you cannot set up a network pairing between an Atlas cluster hosted in a single region, an AWS application hosted in a single region. All right, so Atlas serverless access from GCP. Serverless with Atlas serverless with GCP. All right. How to access Mongo Atlas from Google Cloud Function using serverless VPC. Let's see. To enable a static IP, I created a serverless VPC connector and configured all the egress traffic for my cloud. Once I configured the connection for my MongoDB from my cloud function is failing even though I allow all incoming traffic. I was thinking of VPC pairing to allow cloud functions serverless VPC access static IPs is for you to perform the correct setup. You aren't able to reach MongoDB via serverless VPC because your routes aren't well defined and because of point 3. Huh. So this looks like it might be an advantage to AWS because I have several MongoDB clusters and outlets with network peering set up successfully connected to. No. Serverless framework with GCP, Mongo Atlas. So this might be a cluster though. Cloud functions, also known as Lambda functions. All right, let's have the GCP project. Mongo Atlas, you're doing a free cluster, which isn't what we need. We need a serverless, so you're not helping us out over here. Let's see. Let's see. See, but they're doing the allow access from anywhere either, which is not what we want. Because if anybody gets your credentials, then they can actually be able to connect to it. We don't want to do that. So the peering, all right. What is the IP address that Google Cloud run to whitelist? Let me see something general like the static outbound IP. To whitelist the Google Cloud, you don't use a single IP. Instead, you need to whitelist the entire range provided by Google Cloud for your region. Wow. This can be found on the Google Cloud documentation. Huh. What is our region again? Let's go to, I think it's US East 1. I think it's US East 1. So if we go to over here, not over here. If we go to, where were we? This is a bad way of doing it as well because now you're getting a broad access to Google Cloud. Google Cloud IPs for US East 1. All right, so let's say we search for US East 1. And these are the IP addresses. But for what though? Let's say we said Google Cloud run. Here's some information about Google. Okay, IP address for resources. Let's see. That's a tricky one. That is a tricky one, I must say. Let's see. It seems like we don't have a clean way of doing it on Google. because in order to use the so if I do this, if I go ahead and I turn this access back on, and I go to deploy again, and we say to just kick it off again. It's gonna work just fine. It's gonna work just fine in this case, which kind of sucks. Yep, see it connected with not a problem. Route traffic routing route only request to private IPs to the VPC. But I might just be I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research to figure out like, is this even I'm sure it's possible, but is it possible in a cost effective way as well? But yeah. Allow you know what? Another secure way. Yeah, somewhat secure. Let's say let's leave it as is for now because we don't have that much time left in the show. But we'll figure it out because all right, so there goes the US East one. I just don't see a clean way. I don't see a clean way to do this yet. Because if you have to pay for the private the serverless VPC, then you're end up going to be paying a whole bunch of money again. So we definitely want to be mindful of that. But I also don't want not the API, but the what do you call it? Another thing we could do, we can block access to the API direct. No, because we don't want to do that because then how we're going to add more information to it. So we don't want to block it completely. Let me see. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on this and think about it some more to see how exactly, if there's a way that we can do this. Because they're asking for this is asking for a access list, and we are passing one in, but it's not allowing it to come back to it. So if I click on, let me see if I click on network, what do we get? So we have our network, we have our wait a second. Let's say we do US East 1. I think that's the one that we use actually. So if we go here and we go here, yep, that's the one that we use, 142. So that's not gonna work. That's so weird because we're giving the access to it though. /20 gateway static IPs. See, but I think this can change it. So let's say we copy this one right here, right? But I'm pretty sure this can change the next time. We'll try that too, right? How much time is left? We have 20 seconds left. All right, let me try this real quick, and if it doesn't work, I'll just revert it. But let's go to here. And let's do delete that one, add this, and say test. But I'm pretty sure
Lunch break.
I'm pretty sure this will change, right? So we're gonna add that, and once it's ready, we're going to deploy again. If it doesn't work, then we'll add back in our open access, right? And And while we wait for that, let me start reading the chat so we can get that out of the way. Your car said, if your job pays well enough, you will move. You won't take less money. That's a good point, your car. That is a great point. All right, this is added. Let's just see if anything comes out of this. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen with this, but you know, it is what it is. Let's go here and let's do another revision. How do we get to that? Revision. Edit revision. And we're going to do another one. If that fails, then it's time to pack it up. We're just going to revert and call it a day. All right. Yep. We're going to call it a day because we are having trouble connecting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this access back on for the time being. We'll leave the other ones and we'll give it a try. All right, so let me keep going with the chat while this, all right, it's done. So let's go ahead and release this again and it should work. And then we just have to, we just have to figure it out and find out if it's even possible, right? If it's even possible. So let me go ahead and deploy again, and that should take care of that, all right? Let me see what the robot is doing, by the way. Check that in a second. All right, so that's back up and running. The app is still running. Gonna keep it running, and I'll do some more research on that. So let's go back to full screen as we wrap it up. Let me do this real quick because I wanted to talk about this before we get out of here. But like, you know, I had a coaching call before coming on here today, about an hour before the show, and I just want to tell you it's very similar to what I was doing today, you know, but we'll talk about it in just a second. Let me go to this real quick. Go to this one instead. Oops, what do I do? Give me a second. All right, let me read the chat and then I'll just share it right now. I'll just share this. So I was on a, let me put it up. So I had a coaching call with one of my tech barbarians earlier today, right? And this tech barbarian, they are, they're in networking, but they are studying to get their Azure certifications, working in the cloud, DevOps type stuff. And I gave them a project, right? A few months ago. And it was to deploy the quotes application. I gave them access to GitHub and everything like that. And we ran into different complications. And I'll say this before I go any further, right? As of right now, I understand why AWS is the most expensive because they have a lot of things figured out. They alleviate so many different headaches, right? But to the story is I had like, what we were doing in this coaching call was, we were getting stuck deploying the application, and I said, well, let's do a quick pivot, right? I want you to figure out how to, I want you to go and look for the identity and access management stuff in Microsoft Azure, so that you can give me access to a specific portion of your Azure account, so I can see the web app that we're trying to deploy. Because the issue that we're having was the environment variables weren't being passed over. So, and the reason I wanted him to give me access was so that I could navigate around there and troubleshoot, and that way he was able to see how I work my way through these problems, how I look at this stuff, and how I search, how I like use Stack Overflow, how I use Google and stuff like that. And one thing, Yakara will appreciate this story. One thing I found out that was really, really annoying to me about Microsoft Azure. If Microsoft Azure is listening to this, right? No hard feelings. I will take any sponsorship you offer, right? I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. All right, I'm just kidding. But what I found absolutely annoying is that
The sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
what I found absolutely annoying is that when I would put in trying to pass an environment variable, right? And you set the environment variable in the deployment area under environment variables, in order they are trying to integrate themselves into your application so that you are trapped. So like if you were to do this, right? Let's say you create your environment variable like as we have MongoDB URL. And now I say, all right, I'm going to pass this environment variable inside of Azure, inside of the web app. Then they're going to say, all right, so now they add a prefix to it. And we spent weeks trying to figure this out. They add a prefix of app settings underscore and then whatever your environment variable is, which is like crazy because now they're trying to have you integrate their prefixes into your app. So now if you just want to pick up and move over to Google Cloud or to AWS, it's like, well, so now you have to pass this. It was pretty frustrating. Inside of AWS, I'm able to pass my variables without an issue. When we're setting up our Google Cloud run, we're able to use these variables without any issue. So I found it very, very frustrating that it would do that. But the bright side is like I really enjoyed, navigating through Azure, trying to troubleshoot. I like this is like my second time using Azure, right? And it's because of my Tech Barbarian that I'm doing that. But I had a really fun time being able to navigate through that, trying to troubleshoot, and we were able to. And I was able to figure out how a way that I can editing the GitHub action that Azure created. I'm able to edit that file and create a .env file where I'm saying this. I want to use my original. I want to use my original environment variable that's in my code, and we're just mapping it to the environment variable of the app settings underscore and then whatever your variable is. It's crazy. Like I'll have to create something about that because I found the solution on Stack Overflow. I don't know. I did not see it. I was looking on YouTube to see if I could find a solution. I did not find one. So maybe I will create a video and give credit to the person on Stack Overflow that did it, but I thought it was absolutely amazing. It was absolutely awesome. So I had a great time working with my Tech Barbarian for about an hour and 15 minutes. We were trying to figure that out, and with and I told him like you might not understand everything that's happening, but it is good for you to see it because this is going to be the thing that you're figuring out in the future, So yeah, it was a great time. I had a lot of fun, and this is the type of stuff that I live for: is troubleshooting and figuring out new things, like we do here. Like this show. It might feel like it was a total wash because we didn't even get to like a quarter of the things that we wanted to do. However, this is the perfect show. To me, this is the perfect show because it shows our exploratory nature and how we just try to figure it out on the fly and all of our learning that we get from it, all of that good stuff, right? So this was DevOps. This was DevOps. Like, am I the most well-versed in DevOps? No. But am I able to figure out? Absolutely. On AWS, on Azure, on Google Cloud platforms, we started at the bottom. We knew nothing. We knew nothing about Google Cloud platform, and now we've had this application running for a week. Some little minor things we need to fix up in there, right? But it's been running for a week. It's accessible to everybody, and we're not paying a bunch of money for it. That's the best part about it. We're not paying a bunch of money for it, right? I think that's everything. Anyways, let me wrap up with the chat, and then we'll be on our way for today, and we will be back at it again tomorrow morning for our coffee and kata. All right. So, it says, my stance on relocation. Definitely not in this. Let me get this out of here. Get out of here. Right. Not in this economy. If they're paying for it though, the only thing I'm afraid with relocation is if they're moving you to a middle of nowhere place. Because they have like some hub there, like let's say they end up laying you off and now you're kind of stuck, you know what I mean? So that's always tricky. It says, they are going to use security as the reason why. It says, but at the same time, Amazon wasn't always remote, so most people were local anyways. That is true. That is true. It says, where is Ferris? Ferris is living his best life. Ferris is living his best life. He's having a hot boy fall, and he's out there, getting it, living his best life, right? People are getting caught stacking tech jobs and getting fired like people are getting caught in PPP loans. It's a shame. It's a shame, Ricard. It is definitely a shame. I don't know. This green is bothering me, to be honest with you. Let me go with white. I just feel bothered by this green. I feel like I can see it better. Yeah, I think I can see that better. I don't know. I'll play around with it. I think with the other layout, the green was working, but with this one, I think we have to go with the white. All right. So Mitch says, where the party at tonight? The party is going to be on Google Meet. I am going to be doing a mock interview with one of my tech barbarians so that I can start getting them ready for the interview scene, so that I can get all the nervousness, all the bugs, all the butterflies out of there, so that we can hit the ground running and that we can go after those $250,000 jobs. Right? That's my goal for my tech barbarians. All right, and it says the party is at Ralph's house. Well, it'll be me, you, and my robot cleaning up the house. Oh my goodness, it's in the kids' room. It is in the kids' room right now, mopping up the floor. Doing its bit. Oh my goodness, this thing is amazing. Oh my god. Oh wow, love it. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by this. I must say. Let's go to Mitch says, I don't think people get caught about the job site is because they blast it all over the internet. They can't wait to tell anyone that will listen. That is true. That is true. I'm working like 10 jobs. And then someone looks it up and it's like, see me? I have one W-2 job, and then I have, I have what I have. See, for me, all right, I'm breaking it down like this, Mitch. Everything I do is a job to me, right? And that's how I'm able to keep it consistent, because I know I have to show up to work. If this was a hobby to me, like if I saw this as a hobby, then I would be like inconsistent, just canceling streams left and right because I want to do something else. But because I treat this as a job, I'm like, all right, we might, sometimes we show up a little late, but we're always going to show up and we're always going to perform. And the same way with jiu-jitsu, that's another job for me, right? Because sometimes I don't feel like going, but you know what we say about our feelings. You know what we say about our feelings. We say your feelings, all right? So even when I don't feel like going, I'm a little tired, whatever, I'm like, the show must go on. We have to get the job done. So when I'm coaching and stuff like that, creating my videos, I'm like, I was up early this morning because I had some videos to record. And I'm like, that's what we do. There's no excuse. That's what we do, right? That is what we do. So I hear you, Mitch. I hear you. Yakari says, they are scamming, so they do what scammers do. Tell on themselves. Jesus Christ. Says, I get what you're saying. I don't think that's scamming though. Says, exactly. Lay you off in a month or two. Bruh. That's tough. Ralph, I thought no one was hiring. You talking about who you talking about? About Ferris? I don't know. Ferris has a knack to attract these jobs, and plus Ferris is in cybersecurity. A lot of places aren't hiring, but cybersecurity is definitely hiring if you have the right credentials and the right knowledge and stuff like that, right? So Ferris used to be a really, really good resource on the whole cybersecurity game, but then he was like, I got 10 jobs. He says, I got 10 jobs. F you. Meet you guys. I'm going home. All right. All right. It says, surprise you got your cards on the back of your phone. Look, I tried to have them separate and it is a nightmare. So and my phone is always on me unless I can't find it, but that's a different story. It says, you definitely are always here. People be canceling streams, whatever. all the time. Nope, I don't believe in canceling streams. I have to be like I have to have like a major headache that I can't, because here's the thing. If I was just gonna be like hanging out talking with you guys, then I would never cancel the stream, right? Unless like I couldn't talk. But because of the amount of brain power that goes into these streams, like, you know, researching and Googling and stuff like that, I cannot just like, oh, I don't feel like, I can't just say, oh my goodness, like I have this major headache. I like, you know, but usually I'm fine. But that's why like with those rare times that I cancel the stream is because like I'm really not feeling well and I don't have the brain power to be able to do it. So totally. He says, no, you said interview prep for a job. No. So, okay. I see what you're saying. So this is what it is, right? You don't want to interview prep only when you have an interview tomorrow. If you start interview prepping like once a week with no interviews in like without a planned interview, you know, then once you do have interviews come up, it's a cakewalk. You just do a little prep. But so that's why I'm implementing this with my coaching people. Is like we're gonna be having interview preps going forward, like maybe once every other week or something like that, so that they can know what to expect. Because why? Like, are we going to wait like the week of, and you show up to training camp like Zion Williamson at like 4 to 500 pounds? We can't do that. So we are going to be in the gym now, so that we can prep for the future, right? Because you never know when an interview is going to come up, right? You got to be always ready, right? It says you saying we don't see the BTS. What is BTS? I don't know what BTS is. Let me see. What does BTS stand for? BTS. Pretty sure it's not a boy band. I don't know. I'm give me some context clues. Anyways, let's wrap it up for today. Amazing show. Lots of things to learn. We learned a lot. We did a deep dive into Google Cloud Platform. It says that's why I'm training before I make this layup. That's what I'm talking about. Mitch says, forget 35 feet. I'm going for the layup behind the scene. Oh, okay. We don't see that. No, I mean, because I'm sorry, like when you see me on Mondays on these videos, I'll just be like going off and like just a brain dump, and I don't really do much editing on it, right? Because I'm like, it is what it is. That's how. Like, so when you see tomorrow, I just went at it, but you know how it goes. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. Let me end the poll real quick. We had let me see. We had 40% said they would relocate, and 60% said that they would not. 60% said they would not be willing to relocate. 40% said that they would relocate. So it is what it is. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. This is Tech Coach Ralph with another episode of Software Explorations. We are out.
Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains. But trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Roxy on the scrubs, always shining bright. Caring hands and a heart, bringing hope to the night. She's a beacon of joy when she's in the room. Healing the world, turning sorrow to bloom. Roxy, our hero, we sing your name. Oh, Roxy, we celebrate you today. With love and support, you lead the way. In every heartbeat, we lift you up strong. Your caring nature is where we belong. With every patient, you're lifting us higher. Your kindness ignites compassionate fire. Through long nights and struggles, you never lose grip. Nurse of the world, you're our guiding ship. Always in our hearts, your spirit won't tire. Oh, Roxy, we celebrate you today. With love and support, you lead the way. In every heartbeat, we lift you up strong. Your caring nature is where we belong. Always in our hero, we sing your nerve cheer. In every moment, you are always near. Oh, Roxy, we celebrate you today. You lead the way. With every heartbeat, we lift you up strong. Your caring nature is where we belong. With every heartbeat, we lift you up strong. Your caring nature is where we belong. To Roxy, our strength, forever we cheer. In every moment, you are always near. Oh, Roxy, we celebrate you today. Love and support, you lead the way. In every heartbeat, we lift you up strong. Your caring nature is where we belong. Your caring nature is where we belong. To Roxy, our strength, forever we cheer. In every moment, you are always near. To Roxy, our strength, forever we cheer. In every moment, you are always near. You lead the way. You lead the way.
Late nights at the screen, baby, can't you see? Lips and blobs haunt my dreams, coding endlessly. You say you're feeling lonely, but I'm building our scheme to be the power couple, we're the empire real supreme. Why can't you understand this dream we share? Through lines of code, our future's there. Your words cut deep, they leave a scar, but together we can shine like a shooting star. Yeah, like a shooting star. You say it's a nightmare, this life we're leading, but darling, don't you know it's a future you're feeding? Ups and downs, they may come, but it's part of our creed. With every keystroke, I'm planting the seed. Why can't you understand this dream we share? Through lines of code, our future's there. Your words cut deep, they leave a scar, but together we can shine like a shooting star. Yeah, like a shooting star. Support my grind, girl, and watch us soar. Punching keys for us now forevermore. Two hearts intertwined in this digital flight. We'll conquer the world come day or night. Why can't you understand this dream we share? Through lines of code, our future's there. Your words cut deep, they leave a scar, but together